Welcome to the Twisted Tentacle Tavern. I am your innkeeper of Ace Odin. We are continuing the Battlesmith optimization guide, and this is video number 3 for the Infusions. Level 10 gets you a bunch of new ones, so let's go ahead and talk about them. All right, let's jump right to it. So level 10 gets you a bunch of new infusions. So first on the list is the Boots of Striding and Springing. Your speed becomes 30 and your movement can't be reduced if you're encumbered or wearing heavy armor. You can also jump higher. Your movement is probably already 30 unless you're a small race. So this is a real waste unless you're playing with encumbrance. But even then, honestly, I can think of 1,000 better ways to use up a valuable attunement slot. Boots of the Winterlands. These are much better than the previous boots. If you're playing in a campaign like Storm King's Thunder or another campaign where you're going to be facing the cold, definitely take these. But even if not, resistance to cold and ignoring difficult terrain and snow are still pretty nice to have when you need it. Bracers of Archery. So this gives you proficiency in the longbow and shortbow and a +2 to damage when using those weapons. That's really, really nice. And if you have an archer in the group, even better. I mean, this is a really good choice. The Breach of Shielding, resistance to a damage type is generally good, but Force is just not a really common damage type. Magic Missile immunity is extremely situational, especially at this level, so honestly, I'd probably pass on this one. The Cloak of Protection, now this is one of the best items that you can get with your infusions. It's +1 to AC and all saving throws. That is really powerful. I would almost always take this. Eyes of the Eagle. This gives you advantage on wisdom checks that rely on sight and being able to see fine details even from a good distance. That's pretty nice, but I don't think it's like worth taking an attunement slot. The Gauntlets of Ogre Power. These are great if you have someone in the party that relies on strength, setting the strength to 19. It's pretty nice, but at this level, I think everyone who uses strength probably has used their ability to score increases to get their strength up to 19 or at least close to that at this level. They may be a bit better if you're playing with encumbrance rules, because now your wizard can help carry their share of the load, but overall, I think these sound good in theory, but are probably not as good as they seem. Gloves of Missile Snaring. If you're hit with a missile attack, you can use your reaction to reduce the damage by 1d10. That's okay, but again, at level 10, you're probably not dealing with a lot of archers or thrown weapons anymore. Plus, you have to have a free hand to use the ability, which is a deal breaker here. This may be okay for wizards, I guess, but I think overall for this level, you probably have better options. Gloves of Swimming and Climbing. These make it so you swim or climb. It doesn't cost you extra movement. They're going to be good in a campaign where you have a lot of water or a lot of climbing, but otherwise I'd say let's skip this one too. Hat of Disguise. This one lets you cast Disguise Self at will. Even though it's just a first level spell, this can be useful in many situations. I'd say if you built for utility, this is one I'd probably consider infusing. Headband of Intellect, just like the Gauntlets of Ogre Power, it's probably not going to help your party very much at this level. If you or the wizard have an intelligence below 18 at this level, it's probably worth it. Otherwise, you guys probably already have an intelligence of 18 or higher. The Helm of Telepathy lets you cast Detect Thoughts and Suggestion at will. This is pretty good. Although the DC is pretty low at 13, pretty abysmal actually, you're probably going to be using this on commoners more than on creatures, so their saves aren't going to be that high anyways. I'd say this is deceptively a really good item. Medallion of Thoughts. You can cast Detect Thoughts. It has 3 charges. It's literally a much worse version of the Helm of Telepathy that we just talked about. And you can't even use Suggestion with this one. I just don't get why this is here and why they give you the option to infuse a Helm of Telepathy and this item at the same level. It just doesn't make any sense. If you really want to take this, take the Helm of Telepathy instead. Clearly. There's absolutely zero reason I can think of for you to take this one instead. Periap of Wound Closure. You stabilize at the beginning of your turn. No more death saves, pretty much. And you double the hit points that you heal during a short rest, which is a cherry on top. It's very strong. If your DM allows this item, some DMs probably are going to ban this one. I would say go ahead and take this one for sure. Pipes of the Sewers. You have to be proficient in the bagpipes to use this item, and it has 3 charges. But it lets you call forth swarms of rats, and you can charm swarms of rats, and giant rats and swarms of rats are indifferent to you, which is really awesome. These pipes are just so creepy and cool. I just love it. It's personal preference. The item may not be that great, but I just really like the flavor of it. So it's one that I would take. Just a personal thing for me. The Quiver of Elona. This allows you to have a bunch of ammo with minimal amount of weight or encumbrance. Clearly, if you're using crossbow, you're better just using your repeating shot instead of this item. So I just don't get it. If you have a party member who's an archer, maybe the bracers of archery are a better choice than this too. I guess you can give them both, but if you have a total of 4 infused items that you can create at this level, I don't think that 2 of them are going to be wasted on this and then something else that is a similar function. So it's just not realistic. I think I would 100% skip this item. The Ring of Jumping. This one lets you cast jump as a bonus action at will, but only on yourself. This is actually a really cool and useful item. You're going to be surprised at how many times being able to use jump as a bonus action can come in handy. The Ring of Mind Shielding. This one's a useful item that prevents others from reading your mind or detecting if you're lying. They also can't detect your race or your alignment. It has a weird and interesting ability when you die. It's just really, really weird ability. Anyways, at this level, this is the type of item that's very useful. I think this one I would consider getting. It's, people forget that at later levels you're dealing with a lot of spellcasters and wizards and using a lot of illusion magic to get around and get around danger. So it's really useful to not get caught and be able to further enhance those deceptions. Slippers of spider climbing. You can walk up walls and ceilings. This one can be useful. I'd probably consider this one. Basically, you're just being able to cast spider climb, but with an item. Ventilating lung. This is another cool and useful item. You can breathe normally in any environment, including an anti-magic field. You also get advantage on saves versus harmful gases like cloud kill, and you can cast Gust of Wind once per day. Like, really cool. This is, again, one of those that at this level, you're probably going to get a really good benefit out of. And finally, the Winged Boots. This one, you can fly up to 4 hours before having to recharge them. I've already said that flying is a fantastic ability, and this is honestly even better than casting the spell itself because they don't take up your concentration. I mean, that alone is huge. This is probably the first item I choose from the list, unless it didn't make sense with the theme that I was going for, which can certainly happen. Like, there are characters where I'd rather take the bags of bagpipes of swarming than this. Call me crazy, but I just really like those bagpipes. Anyways, that does it for the level 10 infusions. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please leave comments down below. Like, share, all that stuff. So, and if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. I'm pretty good about replying right now. So that does it for video 3. We will conclude the Artíficer Battlesmith infusions in the 4th video for the infusion section of the Battlesmith optimization guide. And I will see you guys then. Thank you very much.